And we are live.
Hi, welcome. I'm Jamie from CEP, and I manage our voter outreach initiative called Climate and Energy Voters Take Action. We've been hosting this series called CEP Votes as a way to share the great work that CEP staff are doing and talk about how it relates to voting and civic engagement. We've interviewed Beth Pauley on utility shutoffs, Dorothy Barnett on wind development, and Rachel Mislivy on climate and health. You can catch all of the previous interviews on CEP's YouTube channel, which can be found on the link provided in the comment box, or by searching CEP Heartland on YouTube. The video archives are also on our Facebook page. This is our last feature today in the series, and I'm going to now turn it over to Michelle.
Hi everyone, my name is Michelle and I'm an intern with the Climate and Energy Project. I work with Jamie on the Climate and Energy Voters Take Action initiative, and today we're interviewing Leilani Grey, CEP's Project Assistant, to have her tell our listeners a little bit about the Kansas Environmental Leadership Program and how you can remain civically engaged post-election. Thank you for joining us today, Leilani.
Hi, thanks for having me on CEP Votes.
Thanks, Leilani. Can you tell us a little bit about the Kansas Environmental Leadership Program, also known as KEL, the acronym?
Absolutely. For the last 5 years, CEP has offered scholarships to the Kansas Leadership Center for current and expiring environmental leaders. CEP seeks to empower our supporters and organizational partners with environmental leadership development. By building our shared leadership skills, we believe we will make progress on environmental issues that contribute to a healthier, more resilient Kansas. If you are someone that needs to refresh or refine your leadership skills, or someone that can use some new skills, the Kansas Environmental Leadership Program has something for everyone. Our transformation grant covers the cost of these trainings. There are 3 training programs. Step 1 is called Your Leadership Edge. Your Leadership Edge is a foundational training that introduces core concepts in KLC's powerful leadership framework. Practice this new framework alongside participants representing a broad spectrum of sectors and identify key areas where you need to stretch, grow, and experiment to help you get unstuck on some of your tough challenges. Step 2 training is called Lead for Change. Lead for Change is a deep dive into the KLC framework for individuals mobilizing others to deal with tough problems and change processes regardless of your position. And the last of these trainings is called Step 3, Equip to Lead. Equip to Lead is a 2-day program, and you learn to communicate, facilitate, and incorporate core leadership ideas into the context so real change can happen. Currently the 2021 trainings are now posted, and all classes right now are offered virtually.
Great, thanks for telling us a little bit about that. And if someone was interested in participating in KEL, how could that help them become more civically engaged beyond voting? And also, how does it help someone become a better advocate for the environment?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. The Kansas Environmental Leadership Program provides you with tools to help you navigate through possible challenging situations, how to diagnose a situation, manage self, energize others, and intervene skillfully. You also have the opportunity to practice these skills with your peers, which is it's a helpful tool. KLC principles apply to everything from navigating complex policies decisions to organizing on a more local level, like within your neighborhood construct. It also provides you with the framework that you can utilize when discussing climate change with those that may not agree with you. We now know our state and local political leaders, and we know we have a lot to do in Kansas. We must remind our current leaders the importance of climate energy issues. Several people I knew who have gone through KEL trainings have sought for public office. And I always encourage, if you do not see any of the newly elected officials that have your shared environmental values, you yourself should consider running for office and participating on a city board. And so that's always an option there. There are so many ways to advocate for the environment. We encourage everyone to do what they can and participate in any way, shape, or form. If you need assistance or resources about Kansas-specific issues, we here at CEP are always here for you and are more than happy to talk about climate energy issues all day, every day.
Yeah, and with that, all of CEP staff do also participate in these particular trainings. So Leilani, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about your experience through the training.
Yeah, definitely. Last week, I actually attended a virtual equipped to lead training. This was my second time taking this training. I had previously taken in-person training. And so this was my first time taking the virtual training. I really went into it not expecting to learn anything new. I just thought it would kind of be a refresher course. But I was really surprised that I gained some new tools and insights. The training provided several opportunities within a supportive small group setting to practice these new skills. I will also share they have a new guidebook, KLC guidebook. And I found this resource very helpful in several ways. And it was my first time using the guidebook, one of their new resources. And so, it helped me to really know that the Kansas Leadership Center is constantly adapting programs. So you might have even participated in one of these trainings previously in the past, but it might have changed, and I'm pretty sure it has changed. So you might consider retaking the training.
That's really great to hear because I have my training coming up in December and I still need to order my guidebook. So thank you for talking about that. Michelle also took the training online in August. And so I was wondering, Michelle, if you'd want to say a little bit about your experience.
Yeah, so I think that Cal gave me the opportunity to really sit down and think about the issues that I care about. I was given time to think about why I care about the issue, what actions I wanted to take, and exactly how I was going to follow through, which I think is sometimes the hardest part. And as Leilani said, I had the chance to receive feedback and advice from a small group of people throughout the program who come from different experiences than me. And it was really insightful to understand how, for example, those who were older than me viewed taking action when I was searching for solutions to environmental issues that I see in my own community. And I also think that the COW training would be of great value to someone who would like to confidently advocate for things like clean energy policy. And I'm thinking about the hearing yesterday at the Kansas Corporation Commission, where the public gave oral testimony opposing Evergy's rate proposal. And I think the COW training could add to clean energy advocates' ability to articulate their stance on a particular issue, like protecting rooftop solar in Kansas. So yeah, that was a little bit about my experience. And to bring it back to Leilani, where can someone learn about Cal, or how, if they want to apply, where should they go?
Oh yeah, I would definitely encourage people to apply. To learn more about the Kansas Environmental Leadership Program. You can visit our website, climateenergy.org. There's a bunch of information there. Or you can send an email if you have questions to Kel, at climateenergy.org. I'm sure it will be shared. And you'll be directed to fill out an application to receive a link on how to register for the training and other various details to get prepared. And I will say, like, if you're unsure about it and you just wanted to bounce some ideas and see if this is a right path of training for you, please feel free to reach out for us. I know for, just for personal experience that I've gone through the whole trainings, and it's just been really helpful to boost some of the skills I already have. And I think a bonus of it is the peers you are with. I will say that I am still chatting with my equipped to lead peers offline about various things they're working on, and just being another supportive voice for you to, bounce some of the challenges or struggles you might have within the work that you do personally. Because it's always nice to have a different, fresh perspective on some of the, skills you learn. And it's helpful when you'll learn some tools and some language from KLC, and it's helpful to have others outside of your network that know the same language And so you kind of can relate on that level as well.
Thank you so much for bringing in the community aspect to this too, because that's so important. That's exactly what we want to do. We're trying to build a community of leaders in Kansas. So I think that's especially important, and that we can do it virtually now.
Yeah,
With this
and I will say before, I'm sorry to interrupt. Before, I will also say that we do stay connected to all the people that we have put through KEL trainings for other various actions that we at CEP do. So you'll never lose that network. It will just keep growing. So you currently might feel like you might be the only one in your neighborhood or at your school that is interested or passionate about something. But once you are connected to the Kansas Environmental Leadership Program, you just are connected to a wide range of people, and it just keeps growing. And so I think that is very helpful, and everyone's more than happy to help you work on if you wanted to start a petition or address your local lobbyist or local political representative. We're always here to help you work that out. And we're also a resource. And so, yeah, I think that's always good to know, because sometimes with environmental challenges, you just kind of feel like you're the only one. So just know that we're always here to help.
Yeah, Leilani, do you know about how many alums there are, or how many people have gone through the KEL?
That's a good question. I
It's okay.
cannot. Yeah, you got me on the spot. I do not
Yeah.
know. I do not know that number right now, but I do know. I believe currently, I know we have 50 spots available to fill, and I believe we're almost halfway there. So currently, this year in 2020, I believe we're almost at 30 people this year. We do have, I believe, Jamie, you can correct me. I think we've been doing this since 2016. Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know
So some
exactly.
quick math.
Yeah.
I'm not good with quick math, but it's in the hundreds. We'll have to fact check that. But yeah, it's a nice network of people, and everybody's always willing, and everyone has their specialty within the environmental network that they can provide feedback and expertise.
Yeah. Leilani, I also just thought of something else to put you on the spot. There was I remember a series of videos that you worked on. Do you want us to talk a little bit about that and how it connects with environmental leadership?
Yeah, there are, it's kind of adjacently familiar. I know on our YouTube page, we have a making the connections, climate change and in Kansas series. So these are all, people, and I believe a lot of them have gone through the KLC training, or the Kansas Environmental Leadership Training, about the specific environmental challenges in Kansas that relates to their industry. For example, we have, I'm trying to think offsite. So we have like a religious perspective, or, about climate change from KIFA. I can't figure out what the acronyms are right now. So Kansas.
Kansas
Interfaith Action. Thank you. So they have their perspective. There's the Metropolitan Energy Center's perspective, so like a transportation perspective, and it's all regional. And so that right now, we do have the series listed on our YouTube page right now. We have something about urban farming and just people doing things in their community, providing leadership in their community around environmental issues and concerns and solutions. We always we love to focus on the solutions, because sometimes it doesn't seem, we can't see those sometime. So we also are sure to highlight the solutions that anyone can do or participate in, whether it's like a legislative solution or just taking action within their community.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that this would be a really nice demonstration of climate leadership. So thank you so much for being able to do that right off the cuff. I know that earlier in the year, and there's been a little time between now and then. So thank you so much for covering that. And as Leilani mentioned, that can also be found on CEP's YouTube channel, which was in the chat earlier. You can also just search CEP Heartland on YouTube and find us that way. So we're getting close to the end of this feature. I just wanted to check in to see if there are any questions. Maybe, Michelle, if you've seen any in the chat come through, or if anyone has one, go ahead and drop that in the comment box now.
Yeah, Rachel asked how many people have gone to KLC through CEP. So I think
Oh, yeah, that was the same. Yeah, we don't know exactly, but this year that we were thinking that there were probably about 30 or so that have gone through it. So
yeah, and I think personally, this is such a great time. It's just like, I'm going to shine a bright light on our current situation, that these trainings are virtual. Usually they are in KLC, Kansas Leadership Center in Wichita. And so currently it's the travel is, omitted, and you just have to be in a comfortable spot for a few hours to enjoy the training. So I think that's really convenient if you can fit it into your schedule. And, I just saw, I believe this week they have posted the 2021 calendar because when in my training last week, they hadn't had that available yet. And so we can share those dates so people can start seeing what date would work with their schedule in the entire calendar year of 2021. And yeah, it's great that you can kind of just be in your comfortable, cozy spot and, obtain some leadership skills, meet new people, and work on, some of these challenges within a really great group of folks.
Yeah, I know Michelle was able to participate in it from Illinois. So
yeah,
to be able to offer that.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's great. And it's also, I mean, I, for one, thought it was interesting to hear perspective about and relate the concerns we work on in CEP and, reach people from all across Kansas and share some of the things we're working on and have them become more involved environmentally about the issues and concerns that they might not be aware of. So I do know from all my trainings, I have, gain more environmental advocates and just, keep, dropping those nuggets along the way about the Kansas specific challenges.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm also thinking about what you mentioned just a moment ago about these being virtual. I know in the past, somebody could go on CEP's grant and save $800 or whatever the cost of the full training is, would save that money, but they would still have that travel expense. And now with it being virtual, am I right in thinking that there's no cost at all to the participant if they wanted to take this training on our grant?
I will say almost, but there are some training materials like I did share, and they're very I feel they're affordable, and you can look at their bookstore and you can know the exact price. I don't know the exact cost, but the grant does cover just the training cost, but you do have to use your get the resources that they have for the trainings. And one of them I did show is the KLC guidebook. That's their newest one, and it's a nice workbook. I for one, didn't fill mine out. I used a side notebook because I want to keep these resources for other things. They have some great facilitation guides just to help you keep things in order on the back for future facilitation. And then they also have, this is another great resource, Your Leadership Edge is another resource that they use, and it's just very helpful, a helpful tool to use all the time. And it reminds you about some of the resources on the back. So it's always handy. And I have it at my desk all the time. So I have referred to it frequently.
That's great. Thank you so much, Leilani. So before we wrap up, we also do want to share with our listeners the importance of counting every vote, since we just had a general election and the count is not over yet. With an ongoing pandemic, this election has really been very different from previous elections, with more mail-in ballots submitted than ever before. It's taking time to count all of those votes and certify a winner. And that's really okay, because that's an important part of having a democracy. Our ability to protect the environment, climate, and social justice rests on our democracy's health. So the day after the election, there were still about 50,000 or so outstanding Kansas advance ballots. And those are ballots that were sent to voters, but had not yet been returned. It doesn't mean that all of them will be returned, but they have until today to arrive in elections offices and still be counted. So those incoming ballots could have an impact on the closer down ballot races in Kansas. We see situations like this occurring across the nation. So I just want to make sure we mention that before we wrap up, since this is about voting and about civic engagement. We hope that you learned a lot today. So I'm going to pass it back off to Michelle to wrap us all the way up.
Yeah, so we hope that everyone learned a great deal about how you can continue being civically engaged in environmental issues that you care about in Kansas. So thank you to Leilani and to all of you out there watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment box and we'll respond as soon as possible. Or you can email your questions to us at takeaction@climateandenergy.org, and I will also drop that in the chat. So thank you all for helping us transition to a clean energy future.